Hey, good afternoon, guys. In the late afternoon, in the hustle and bustle of Washington, D.C., had to do some private work here. It's been an interesting day. Some good progress on the personal side and on the productivity with the team side of things. But yeah, it's been interesting. I mean, I've seen some road rage. I've seen some people completely out of their senses in terms of anger management. Um, and, there's heavy traffic in DC, so particularly in the peak hours. So it's interesting to see how I responded to that. I mean, okay, there's road rage on the outside. But the zero to A mindset is about the mindset of total uncertainty and your ability to handle that uncertainty. And it was interesting because I experienced some of the road rage myself, but how my brain reacted and how composed I was and how I handled that situation was an eye opener for me. You don't usually get into situations where things are difficult, and when they happen, although you are doing the zero to A mindset philosophy and methodology, but does it come into effect when it needs to? And it happened, and I was pleasantly surprised. There was no issue on my part. So I think what I'm trying to say here is that it's not just about the fact that somebody's got road rage or somebody's angry, someone's grieved, someone's honking, that kind of stuff. It's also how you react to that. That's the kind of telltale sign about your state of play. And my state of play was that I totally was serene to the whole situation. I mean, it didn't affect me at all, not even in the slightest, and I was really proud and impressed by that. Um, and it reinforces my vision, my idea, my want to kind of impart my wisdom, my experiences, my interpretation of my existence to yourselves, to the team, to the people who would like some help in this area. Um, and it's all mental. It's absolutely all mental. I'm seeing a lot of YouTube websites out there about entrepreneurship, about becoming rich, successful, and a lot of them, not all of them, a lot of them plug the idea of material possessions, be they big houses, fast cars, the size of their business, and they're all signs for them of success. And they communicate and they appeal to, people like us who watch YouTube channels. They appeal to us through those shiny objects and those symbolic trophies. And I think sometimes they themselves haven't really reflected to the degree to explain to their audience the reason that they've been able to get those shiny objects or those symbolic trophies. It hasn't been because they didn't do the work, or they didn't focus, or they didn't pursue. They did, but it wasn't the pursuit in itself, the hard work in itself, that delivered the results. It was that they wanted something so much, so badly, that they adjusted intuitively, subconsciously, their state of mind, their state of play, to pay that price, to achieve that state of play, to be able to put the work and time in to make those results happen. And I think that articulation isn't taking place in the market. The marketplace, the people who are talking out there are not expressing that clarity, that they had to change their state of play, their psychology, and they worked on their psychology because they wanted something so bad they were willing to adjust their psychology to get it. And that's the 0 to A mindset. So they were trying to operate the 0 to A mindset in the sense that the 0 to A mindset is all about being able to handle uncertainty totally, in a way that you own that space when events happen. And when they happen, because you are in the flow, because you're totally connected intuitively to your surroundings, you're present, then when things do happen, it's just like, I don't know what the name of the martial arts is, but it's just like Kung Fu, I think it's called, where you deflect the forces that come to you by channeling their energy away from you. And so you're using your opponent's energy as a weapon to defend yourself. And so in the same way with the 0 to A mindset, when things happen to you, you adjust yourself, you reposition your psychology to be able to push that stress away and look for that opportunity in another way, and then be always in a maintained state of balance. And that maintained state of balance is called flow. But it's not a maintained state of balance in the sense that it's just within you. The flow actually is that you're allowing the blockages that you have, that the source, the higher power, let me rephrase that. You've got to a situation where you've zeroed yourself out. You're like neutral. You are a pure kind of conductivity tool for the higher power. So you now have removed the blocks in your state of play, in your thinking, that were stopping or slowing down the higher power's force or energy to flow through you. And that's the highest form, the ultimate form of expression, what people call intuition. And so the issue for us is that we have ourselves in our way. We have our negative thinking, our lack of presence, our fears, our anxieties in the way of truth, in the way of flow, the source's energy, which connects everything together, flowing through us like pure conductivity, as a pure conductivity tool. So what I'm trying to say is that when you are successful, a lot of those people have paid that price of changing their state of play at one level, not necessarily at all levels, but they've paid a price to get to a situation where they're doing the actions that need to be done to get the results that they need to get. I was talking to somebody today, and it has been a problem of my own as well, which is probably one of the reasons why I fell in my last business, and that was that our desires and the actions, there's a disequilibrium, there's a dissonance, there's an imbalance between what we want and what we're actually doing. And so what we have to do is put in the work, put in the effort that is consistent with the exact result that we want to achieve. And some of us, we aspire to the result, but we don't put in the action, and we're not really aware of the fact that we have to put that action in, and that's what's causing the issue. So some people call it delusion. Sometimes we're deluded that we're doing something But I wouldn't call it delusion. I think that's a harsh word. I think there's just an imbalance between, what our mind wants and what our subconscious is willing to exercise to deliver that aspiration. And so we have to force our subconscious to do that work, do that effort. And those people who are successful, who have the bright lights, the shiny things, the trophies, the symbolic trophies, they have understood that. They've understood that we need to put that level of effort in that will get us that result that we want. And they've gone all in, But if you're not balanced, I've heard a lot of the YouTube channels say, I've got rich friends, I'm successful, but I've also got rich friends, and they're not happy. So although you can get the money, you cannot necessarily get the fulfillment or happiness because you were chasing after a shiny object, the wrong light. So when you're in the flow, when you have the 0 to 8 mindset, the prerequisite is that you have that conductivity, that flow, and then through that flow you're making the intuitive right decisions, like in Kung Fu, moving away when energy comes at you and using that energy, and you're directing it, and ultimately you're making the right decisions to get the right effort and the right results, get to where you want to get to in terms of your definition of success. So, there was traffic here. I thought I'd give you a little bit more of a lengthier conversation. Again, I so appreciate the fact that you've taken the time and trouble to actually listen. Time is the most valuable component we have. I thoroughly encourage you that if you do listen to my video or you listen to other people's videos, that you do it when you're doing something else, like in dead time. Dead time meaning perhaps you're in the gym on the bike, or you're driving and you have your headphones on and you can listen, or you're on the bus or you're shopping. In those types of situations is where you should be spending time listening to these videos and podcasts. You shouldn't be spending time really at home in front of the TV and watching this, because you could generally be doing two things, or you should be on your bike when you're watching this and doing some exercise or stuff like that. You can do two things. I just would encourage you to do that. So I do appreciate the time that you're putting in to listen to the words that I say. If you feel that these words are of value, they have some weight, then I would thoroughly encourage you to share forward to at least 10 of your friends and important colleagues and family members my videos or this video, so that the word can get out. I'm only as impactful as the number of people who are exposed to the conversation, and I would certainly like to be able to be very impactful. So your assistance, if you value what I'm saying, would be certainly something I would hope other people would also value and would benefit from. So that would be great. And also, whatever I'm saying, it's my interpretation, it's my truth, it's what I believe, it's what I call the 0 to 8 mindset. I think it's effective. My experience today just with the road rage was a real eye-opener of my state of mind. And so I'm happy with who I am, and I would like you also to be happy with who you are. I'm trying to live a fulfilled life. I feel at peace. I feel productive. I feel happy. I feel good. And so, I'd certainly like for all of you guys to experience that as well. So, if you have comments, if you feel there are points you'd like to articulate very well, that would also help me in terms of my own understanding of what I'm saying. It will give me feedback. I'm certainly welcome to that. I'm no great sage. I'm no great entrepreneur yet, but I am somebody who I believe is on the journey of the 0 to 8 mindset, who's worked considerably hard over the last 10 or 12 years trying to fix myself, and I've got to a good place. And so because I'm in that good space, I'm taking the liberty of expressing myself and sharing my knowledge, my learning, the experiences I've got with yourselves. So again, thank you for listening. Focus, spend some time reflecting, understand this is the only opportunity you have. There's no dress rehearsal. This is not a dress rehearsal. There's no second act. And don't live your life just breathing. Live your life by living, by taking effect, taking action. Anything I can do to contribute to help, let me know. Feedback to me through the comments, and let's see what we can do, what kind of game we can together play. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful evening. I'll try and get another video by the end of this evening to you, but if not, you guys are fantastic. Keep it up.